Hello and welcome to Open Mind Lounge. My name is Nina El Sayed, and today we're going to listen to a powerful and important voice. A woman who grew up with war as a part of her reality. She comes from Lebanon, a country marked by both beauty and conflict, and she has lived through more than most of us can imagine. Welcome, Safa. Thank you so much for being here and for being willing to share your story.
Thank you for having me as your guest.
Let's start by getting to know the difference between us. I'm born and raised in Norway with my mom, dad, and 3 siblings. My early memories are filled with play and peace. The only thing I was afraid of was the dark. My dad worked as a sailor and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. What about you, Safa? Who are you? And where in Lebanon did you grow up? And what was the life like before the wars began?
I was born in Beirut. I lived with my parents and 3 siblings. Dad worked as an antique trader, and mom was a stay-at-home mom. My early childhood was filled with suspense and instability because of the many wars and conflicts in my country.
Yeah. I didn't know about wars before I started school, and that was just stories from the past. The last war in Norway was World War II, and that was just stories my grandmother told me about. What is your first memory of war or conflict? What made it stand out to you?
The first war I remember was when I was 9 years old. It was a civil war between 2 political parties. We used to live in an area that's in the center between the 2 fighting parties. I remember some days when we were in a family outing and a clash happened between the parties and we couldn't go back home. We used to spend the night at my grandma's. And the next day, if it was a school day, we went to school without our books. Some clashes lasted for a few months, and we moved to the south my maternal grandparents. And school was closed for a long period of time, maybe 2-3 months at that time.
Wow, that must have been so scary. How did your parents support you in this war? Did they make you feel safe?
Indeed, it was scary for a child. The only step my parents could take to make us safe was to move from home to grandparents who lived in other areas. And we kept moving from area to area.
Yeah, and your parents, they chose to move to Canada for some time, right?
Yes, it was when I was 2 years old. We moved for a whole year till the civil war ended, and we came back.
Okay. You said you have lived through several wars, and I guess they were not the same. Can you share a bit about that?
Yes, the first war I remember was when I was 9 years, and the next war I lived through were during my teenagers years. Those wars we have to cut here, by the way. Can we cut? Yes.
Yeah.
I will repeat it. Yes, the first war I remember was when I was 9 years, and the next 2 wars I lived through were during my teenagers years. Those were with an outside enemies, and they didn't reach Beirut directly at that time. During those times, the relatives from the south, which was the war zone, would move in with us. At one point, we were 5 families living under one roof. Beirut wasn't targeted in those wars, so it felt more like we were supporting others who were closer to the danger. Even though I can still remember the terrifying sounds of the military aviation in those wars, it didn't feel traumatized back then. But the last war, the one we went through just a few months ago, that's the one that truly broke and traumatized me and the whole family.
Yeah, that's so sad to hear, Safa. We are both adult women now and we have children. I have never needed to shield my children from trauma that war comes with. I have never had to tell them that the fireworks you see and hear is other than just that. Fireworks for celebration. My girls have the same safe childhood in Norway as I had. You and your husband have 3 young girls, and they lived through the last war. Please tell me about that.
Beirut was fully targeted. You couldn't predict where or when the next missiles would hit. Some of them landed very close to us, and in this war, we didn't leave our home. We stayed home, and we have children now, and that changed everything.
How did it change? I can only imagine that nightmare you lived through.
At this time, I stopped worrying about myself. We only worried about the children's, my daughters, who at that young age were suddenly living through something far more terrifying than what I had experienced growing up.
Yeah. And how are the days now? How has the last war changed your everyday?
Even now, after about 6, 7 months after the last war, they still won't stay in a room alone. They ask, what if there's a sonic barrier? And honestly, even I still expect a bombing at any minute. The anxiety is still with all of us.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm so sorry, Safa, that you and your family and millions of innocent people have to live through this uncertainty. Do you still worry that a new war will come?
For sure, just a few days ago, we relived it all again. The enemy noticed that they will target a building nearby. In the middle of a school day, we rushed to pick the girls, and for a moment we thought it could be around two of the wall. And thank God it was just one building this time.
Yeah. And how did the girl react when they suddenly had to leave school?
The girls kept asking why we are leaving school early, and of course we can't show them the panic you're having inside. So we said it's fireworks for the celebration. It was a holiday coming soon. But deep down, I just wish I could take them out of this country, because I don't want them to live what I've always lived. This constant expectation of the wars that can happen at any time, and all the fear, instability, and unsafety that comes with it. It's something nobody has to live, just because some people have different beliefs over politics or history. I wish I can just change the fate of my girls by trying to take them out of the situation, to offer them a more peaceful and stable life.
Yeah, it's an incredible, powerful, and heartbreaking story, Safa. Thank you for sharing that. It's something most of us can't imagine, or only imagine in our nightmares. But hearing you speak, I feel the weight of it. And I think our listeners will too. I would like to say that we are two women, both mothers, both wives. You, Safa, cradle your girls beneath the sound of bombs, I beneath northern skies of peace. Our lives could have been the same, but fate wrote our stories in different lands. The only difference was where we were born.
Thank you for having interest in my story.
And to you, listeners, I hope you found this story interesting. If you do, please subscribe to Open Mind Lounge to find other interesting stories. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.